y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your favorite girl, Imani Bailey. If you are new, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for joining me, for clicking on this video. If not, hey loves, welcome back. Do not forget to click the subscribe button, and if you do want a message every time I upload, don't forget to click the bell down below. So originally I had this series in mind called The Boy Was Mine, and as y'all see on my channel, I uploaded episode 1 already, and it was how to use your feminine energy to get with you what you want. Doesn't have to be a guy, just how to tap into your feminine energy, so you can go ahead and check that out. Now with this one, it was crazy because when I had my planning, I wrote down like everything I wanted in this series, like The Boy Is Mine, how to tell if he's an awful person and stuff like that. But some life events kind of occurred, and now like I'm kind of going back to the drawing board and wanted to do something a little non-traditional with this series. So this video is going to be focusing on childhood traumas and reflection.
His body, baby. His body, baby. Oh, oh, na na. Bum 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 bum. Oh, na na. Na 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 na. Oh, na na. Bum 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 bum. Oh,
I think up until I want to say I hit 22, I never really reflected. I never took the time out to reflect on my actions with myself, with my friends, with ex-boyfriends, with school. Like I never really took the time out to just sit with myself and ask myself, why do I do the things that I do? Why did I did that? No matter if it was good or bad, or how I allowed someone in my life. So with the Boy Is Mine series, I wanted to start off exploring yourself. So we exploring ourselves, and then we could get into how to find better partners or better relationships. So number 1, okay, childhood traumas. Now, I do truly believe, and I'm pretty sure there's some research behind this, I'm like 99% sure, that there's research behind almost everything we do, no matter if you're a guy, no matter if you're female, no matter if, you know, whatever you identify as, everything that we do has to do with our childhood traumas and adolescence. Because I feel like when people say childhood, a lot of people, they kind of dismiss like the teenage years and the years before you reach adulthood. And when I say trauma, it doesn't have to be like something crazy happening. Like, you know, some people's lives are different than others. So it doesn't, you know, when you look at your life, and I've had friends like, oh, well, I didn't have any childhood traumas. Like I didn't go through nothing crazy. That does not dismiss certain things that we went through and that we had our upbringing and our childhood definitely reflects on us as adults. And loves, like when you do not recognize this and reflect on your past traumas, they will manifest in the relationships that you bring. And like I was praying the other day, and something about this video just came on me. I wasn't even planning to do this video. So the number 1 thing is how to recognize your childhood trauma. So the first thing that I didn't try to get really intellectual. I just thought about it from a friend perspective, and then I thought about it from a relationship perspective, and then I also thought about it from the perspective of my parents. So the first thing, if you want to write this down or just reflect on it, I separated them into 3 categories of the type of relationships I have. So friendships, boyfriend, romantic relationships, and the relationships I have with my parents. Broaden that to family. Now the first thing with my parents, I just sat back and I thought about, how is your current relationship right now with your parents or your parent? You know, if someone is deceased, how was that relationship when they were alive? You can write that down. You can say, you know, how you all are standing right now. And if you're not talking to your parent, if you're upset with your parent, we gonna get there. Secondly, how could you make your relationship with your parent better? Okay, because at the end of the day, I realized, like, and I'm still practicing this, I can only control what I can control. So how can you make your relationship with your parent better? The third thing that I wrote down was What did my parents do to hurt me or disappoint me as a child? What did they do to hurt me or disappoint me as a child? So a quick example, like I said, like it doesn't have to be very too traumatizing, but this is just an example from my life, and I see it show up literally in my relationship. So at the end of this video, we're gonna all connect this together. So one thing, I grew up in a two-parent household. My parents have been married for 30 plus years, right? Not to say that they're perfect, but I grew up in a two-parent household, and most people, 53% of Americans, do not have that. So when I think about what my parents did, you know, I kind of separate mom and dad. One example with my mom, and I told this to her, I was telling this to my friend the other day. My mom is not, she loves me, definitely, great mom. However, she's not really nurturing, over nurturing. She does what she has to do to provide for me. She makes sacrifices. She tells me she's loved me, but growing up, I mean, when I was little, yeah, but as I started to mature, like middle school, high school especially, I don't remember my mom like giving me hugs. Like she was not really, I'm gonna hug you, I'm gonna tell you I love you all the time. Like she tells me, but it's not all the time. If I was ever going through something like to where it's like emotional right now, I wouldn't go to my mom about it. Like I know I could talk to her about anything, but it's just like, for instance, if I go through a breakup, I'm not gonna run to my mom. That's not the first person I'm thinking about to run to my mom, because she's usually like emotionally, like, I don't want to say unavailable, but sometimes when it comes to certain things, she's just kind of like, I mean, well, I told you so. Well, I told you men are stupid. Well, and you know, it's like I'm crying, like she kind of just brushed things off. And that's not to say that she doesn't care, but she brushes things off, and that's a problem. That's a childhood trauma that I grew up with, because it's like everyone has different ways of showing that to people. To some people that might be okay, but for me, that is something I felt like it kind of hurt me even now, or it hurt me as a high schooler or a middle schooler. It kind of hurt. So something like that, you can write that down. Whatever your parents have done to hurt you or kind of upset you in your life, and you kind of see it show up. So because of my mom not being over nurturing, I feel like I make up with that in my relationships. Which is the next thing I'm leading to. So the second one I did was boyfriend and girlfriend relationships. If you haven't had like a boyfriend or girlfriend, like kudos to you, but you still need to dig deep and tap into that childhood trauma so we can address it, so certain things will be avoided, okay? Because I have been through like a lot of things with boyfriends, and I feel like if I would have recognized some of the things I went through as an adolescent, I would not have put up with what I put up with. So in the relationship category, write down everyone who you've been like in a romantic relationship, boyfriend or girlfriend, or any serious relationships you have had. So I wrote that down, and I have 3 guys. Well, I counted the second one for this one. We were together for 6 months, but I wrote down 3 guys, and I kind of just did like an autopsy report. I want to link down below Ayana. She has her channel, the R Spot. These videos are from like a couple years ago, but y'all know Ayana fixed my life. So a long time ago, when I got out of my first relationship, which was my like end all be all relationship, I did a relationship autopsy report, and she talks about this in one of her videos, and it goes deep. Like it goes really deep. You don't have to go this deep for the sake of time for this video, but I do want y'all to check that out. I put there, you know, how we ended. So put, you know, how the relationship ended from your perspective, of course. You know, what could have been better? What could you have done better in the relationship? What could they have done better for you, for the sake of you? What could they have done better in the relationship? Is the relationship worth salvaging? Do you truly think that you could be friends with this person? Or do you even want to be friends with this person? Do you want to get back with this person? Just kind of examine the relationship as a whole. And when you write down, I know some of y'all, when y'all write down what they could have been done better, y'all need to make sure y'all put equal, just as much as what you could have done better. At least something down, okay? It can't just, everything cannot be on them. And if it was a bad relationship per se, or if it was a relationship that if you got out of, you know, you didn't handle it correctly, or you felt like you were depressed, examine that as well. How did that relationship ending make you feel? Did you feel like you handled it in a healthy way? Because honestly, I can say no. My first getting through breakup video is still on my channel, which has helped me. But I've realized that in that breakup video, I didn't really focus on reflection. And I don't know. It was everything. I felt like back then I did everything I could to just get over it and mask the pain. Versus, I thought I took a Tylenol for my headache, for my heart broke, but instead I just distracted myself. How did you handle that? How did you handle that? And anything with your parents, when your parents hurt you, going back to the first one, how did you handle that? Did you not say anything? Or did you tell them? Did you scream at them? Did you ignore them? How did you handle that? And write that down. Write down if it was healthy or not. If you truly think it was healthy, if you truly think it wasn't, please research if you need help. So with the relationships, I did that with each of my partners. And I asked myself, when I got to my second boyfriend, I asked myself, I was only with him for 6 months, and it was a very emotional, abusive relationship. I didn't recognize that until way later, but when I was in it, it didn't seem like it. But when I started reflecting and I started researching, I was like, this is actually emotional abuse. I was in an emotional abusive relationship. And within describing my reflection of that guy, I asked myself, how did I allow myself to even get involved with someone like that? A lot of times I don't want to place the blame on you or on me or whoever, but a lot of times I feel like we complain about people, but we don't look at ourselves like, I'm better than this. How did I allow this to happen? How did I allow this person to slip through the cracks? How? How did that happen? When you're going through an assembly line and they're making sure that everything is good, sometimes faulty products slip through the cracks. And companies oftentimes go back and investigate, how did this happen? And you need to do the same. Now, the third one, friends. Write down, it don't have to be all your friends. Some people have really close friends. Some people do not. I want you to write down for the friends one, your best friends. Please, if you've ever lost a really close friends, please include these. Include the people who you've lost who were really close to you. And I'm going to have a video on friend breakups too, because I feel like no one talks about that. So write down your closest friends. If you're a type of person, you get to the friends section and you realize you have a lot of friends. There's some people that I know that have a lot of friends, a lot of friends, a lot of friends, a lot of friends. And I feel like in school, some people are like that. If you're somebody like that, think about, why do you have so many friends? Do you call everybody your best friend? Do you look at quantity over quality? When you sit down and realize, I have all these friends, but no one truly knows me. Go back to the list with your parents. Go back to how you felt. Go back to what they did or didn't do in your life. And you will kind of see, if I have a lot of friends and don't have meaningful relationships or don't open up to people, is there something in my childhood or my adolescence that happened to where I feel like I always have to meet somebody? I'm always on go. I drop friends. I cut girls off. If she want to do me dirty, whatever, off with her head. For my friends, I wrote down 4 friends. And I wrote down, of course, the time period I met them. I feel like that's important because we all meet people with different walks of lives. And I feel like some of my friends met the older me, and I mean they're still friends with me, but they met the older me, and then versus some of my other friends got to meet the revised Imani. And that's okay, but write down the time period where you met your friends. Write down, do you truly feel in your heart like they're a good friend? Write down do you feel like they could be a godparent? Those are the type of friends I want you to write down. If you feel like they could be a godparent. Now, if you have one, that is, like I said, in the Bible, a person who has one friend is very rich. A friend like that who if you ever, God forbid, leave this earth and leave your child, that one friend who will take care of your child, you are very blessed, because not a lot of people have that. And if you find yourself not having that, recognize it, Wonder why and reflect. So write down where you met your friends. Would they be considered a godparent? Would you trust them with your life? Would you in turn do the same thing for them? Write down, any arguments y'all have had, any breaks in friendships. Like, say if y'all had a break in friendship, y'all had a really big falling out. Write down how you could have handled that better. How did they handle it? What it was about. Did y'all even communicate about it? Like, I feel like most girls don't communicate with each other, but they want their boyfriends to communicate with them. Like, I'm confused. What's going on, sis? Did y'all communicate about it? Can y'all still communicate about it? Do you feel comfortable communicating, hey friend, you hurt my feelings. When you did this, it made me feel like this. If you don't feel comfortable doing that with your friends, they don't need to be on this list. I mean, they could be an acquaintance, but they're not a quality friend. Okay? Now, after I did all of this, I found out a lot about myself. I found out a lot about, wow, I need to really go back to the drawing board, and I need to find out what can I do differently now that I see the things that I see in writing all of this down. And the second part of this video, reflection. Well, this was reflection too, but it also had to do with childhood traumas. Now, I got this and it was so helpful. I know if you're watching this video, you might not be a writer, but I challenge you, I really do, to get this book. I honestly saw it on TikTok, which is freaking crazy, but I saw it on TikTok and it's called Burn After Writing. I've mentioned this on my Instagram page, and I'm still at the beginning. So it explores your past, your present, gosh, and your future. You can go in order, or you can, mix it up. But for the sake of me and how I am and my Capricorn self, of course I go in order. And it says things, so let me just read a couple so you know. I got it on like Amazon. It was like $8. So, the first thing on here, it says my earliest memory. The first thing you remember, earliest memory. As a child, I dreamt of becoming. When I look into the past, one thing I miss the most. My childhood described in one word. Posters I had on my wall growing up. Like, these are like really good reflection questions that will also help. So then they have a page of my first. So my first friend, my first love, first record or CD I bought, first foreign holiday, first job, first car, first concert, first school, first kiss, first teacher, first alcoholic drink. Mine was Patron. So yeah. And then they have like a looking back page, music I loved as a child, stuff like that. A few of my favorite things. Now, once you start going into present, they have a things I've learned along the way, an I confess page, my last. I haven't done this page, so it's like my last. The first word I use to describe myself, well, first and last. The last time I felt happy. The last time I cried. So this book, honestly, I want to say it's one of the best books that I've bought this year. The year's not even over yet. But this book is very, like, who wrote this did a really good job. One skill I wish I could possess. So stuff like that. After you research the R spot of Ayana's page, after you do your reflection and your childhood trauma reflections, and you fill in the gaps within your relationships, and you do this, y'all gonna feel like a whole new person. Y'all are gonna have a better understanding. The more I dig deep and discover and understand myself, the more I can protect myself when fakes and phonies and snakes and bears and lions and tigers and bears, oh my, come around me. I can protect myself by making better decisions, by protecting myself and guarding my heart. Hello. So that the people who I let in my life don't have control over me. Now, your parents should stuck with them. I'm sorry, because they're not going to change. They're still going to be your parents. However, you can make the best of the situation that you have. So I just want to say thank y'all so much. If y'all have any questions or any other journals like this, like if y'all know of any other things like this, please comment down below because I would love it. I would love it. My next book that I'm buying is The Art of Not Giving an F. And I will put that down below too. So yeah, questions, comments, concerns, put that down below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Imani Bailey, just like my YouTube channel name, and on Snapchat as well. And visit my lash, what is it? Visit my, if you, since you stayed to the end of this video, if you put burn, like the journal that I just shared, and the coupon code section on my website for lashes. By the way, these are pop out. Freaking love these lashes. If you put burn in the coupon code section, you will get 60% off of your lash. Thank y'all for staying to the end of the video. Thank y'all for the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love y'all so much. And like I always say in every video, stay true to yourself.